And it's another exciting edition of your favorite all-women talk show, Sister Sister, live on City TV and City FM, live across sub-Saharan Africa on DSTV channel 363 as well as Go TV channel 182. It's another week and we're completely thrilled to come your way. I tell you, we've got lots of messages on the platform today we're going to be talking about. And before we jump into all that, let me give a special shout out to our sponsors: Vodafone, Together We Can; Lux for soft, fragrant skin; and of course, Kel Kids toothpaste. They give us happy smiles every single time. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll jump into our messages. I'll tell you how you can be a part of the show, and we get to meet our sisters as well. So don't go anywhere. And you're welcome back to Sister Sister on City TV and City FM. Okay, so tonight, if you are moved by any of the conversations we have on the show, there are various ways that you can reach us, interact with us as well. You can send a WhatsApp to 054-998-6996. Send a quick email to jessica@cityfmonline.com, or perhaps you can just find us on social media at Sister Sister LIVE. Sister Sister Live, like our page, send us a DM, or join the conversations that happen on our wall. Those conversations can get heated sometimes, but yes, we like it like that. So yes, these are the ways that you can reach us and be part of the conversation. Let me say hello to my sisters joining me in studio, and one joining me all the way from Berlin. Let's say hello to Claudia first. Hi Claudia, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm all right, can't complain. What have you been up to?
Work, 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 work. They say that's what adults do, so I'm adulting.
I mean, someone should have told us that adulting would look like this.
Yeah.
It's a big trap.
It is. Yeah. It's a scam.
Don't grow up.
It's a scam.
It's scam.
Yeah, seriously, do not.
It's a scam.
Ladies, good to see you though in studio as well.
Good
Drea,
to be here.
Olivia,
Good to be
it's
here.
been a minute.
Yeah.
Looking all pink and black. What's the occasion?
Thank you.
Everything
I'm just
okay?
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family good?
Yes,
Family
everyone fine. Thank you. Happy to be alive and well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And what about you? I know you've been busy.
Yes, I'm
some of the stuff
pretty
we can't
hyped.
talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yet.
But I'm excited.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you.
I'm excited. I'm working on some very promising brands.
Ooh.
Yes, and I love it when I'm innovating and I'm doing a little alchemy in the kitchen.
Hey.
Yes.
Alchemy.
Hey.
Alchemy.
Excuse
in the kitchen.
moi.
Yes. So I'm excited. So soon.
Hey.
Like,
She knows. She knows.
me, I'm on the sidelines there, but I'm more excited than she is.
Ah.
Yeah. Y'all wait for it. Ghana, you ain't ready yet. We'll talk about that later. But for now, I'd like to welcome, of course, our audience via radio and TV for joining us as well. We'll jump right into our first story for the evening. It says, "Good evening, sisters. My issue is very embarrassing. My wife has started abusing me verbally. We've been married for 5 years, and I know I've done what every good husband and father should do. 3 months ago, I noticed that she started keeping late nights. Even though her workplace is about 20 minutes from our home, she ends up getting home around 10 p.m. even though she closes at 5. I confronted her about it, and that's when the abuse started. She insults me at the least chance she gets. She doesn't care who's around. Once she isn't in a good mood, she insults me at the slightest opportunity. I've never seen this side of her before. I spoke to her elder sister about it, and oh my God, I regretted it. She called me all sorts of unprintable words simply because I involved a third party. I've been unhappy these past months. What should I do?" All right, what happens when the abuse is verbal? Livy? Why are you looking at me like that?
Like don't call me. Like I'm not here. Like I'm not
Why
here.
doesn't anybody ever want to go first? I don't get it. You know? But yeah, how would you deal with verbal abuse?
That's not cool. There's nothing not nice. Like there's nothing nice about being verbally abused, especially when you on the receiving end. You realize that your wife's pattern in terms of routine has changed and you're asking, I mean, you deserve to ask questions and you deserve to have answers. So, I mean, wives who go on about that thing is not cool. If you have a problem, talk to your partner about it. You don't have to be abusive about it, verbally abusive about it. But my question to him is, I mean, I can appreciate where he's coming from, and I can only imagine what he's going through. And my only question is, what does he want? You know, does he want to work on the marriage? Does he want the marriage to work? And if so, what is he ready and prepared to do to be able to have her attention, to be able to have that conversation? Clearly, it sounds as though there's somebody in the picture. Something is a bit off. It sounds as though it could be, I stand to be corrected, that somebody is in the picture. She feels and she thinks that that person is better than you. It could be. It could also be that she's being influenced negatively. It could also be as a result of something happening over a long period of time. She's bottled it up and now she's sick of you. She doesn't want to have anything to do with you. She's very aggressive. She's done, dusted. She's like, I'm not interested in whatever you have to say. To every action, there's always a reaction. And sometimes as couples, you don't know when you're hurting your partner. That's why it's very important that you don't sweep things under the carpet. And it could be intentional, it could be completely unintentional from your part. You could be completely innocent, but it doesn't mean that the person on the receiving end is not being hurt. So that's why I ask, do you want to work on the relationship? So if you want to work on the relationship, I say, if she's respecting you, it means that she's gotten to a point where she doesn't have any ounce of respect in her being for you. So do you demand respect? I don't think so. I think that it's time to earn respect. Don't put yourself out there for her to disrespect you. It's easier said than done, right? But here's a situation whereby she came home late, and I mean, you have the right. Charlie, where did you go to last night? But you know, the same question can be asked in a different way. You know, and you got her sister involved, and then pooh, World War II started. You know, so I think, right, if you do want your marriage to work, you need to start again from the basics. And it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of patience. That is, if you are ready and willing to make it work. What do you want? You want her attention. You want to be able to communicate how you feel to her. And so far, she hasn't given you that opportunity. Okay. So she's keeping late nights. It's been 3 nights, right? You know, in our African setting, African men are not brought up to serve. Okay, so I'm going to go completely off the radar here. Okay. African men are not brought up to serve. Okay. So check this out. She comes home completely, it's late. Make sure food is ready. Right? Offer her food. Make sure water is ready for her to have her bath. Like, go into serving mode. I know that this is unheard of, but this is you sort of going the extra mile to get her attention to make it work. You realize that certain problems are certain things, the particular problems in most marriages. It has to do with money, sex, and communication, right? So it could be that the sex isn't great. It could be that there's money issues. So that's why I'm saying that go back to dating her. In every relationship, at some point in time, if you want it to work, one person has to be the fool. Unfortunately so. So chill. Don't put yourself out there for her to disrespect you. Get into the mood of making her happy. Try to get her attention. She'll realize that there's something different about you. Something has changed. She's at work. And then you do what? You send her Momo, maybe 100 Ghana cedis. Okay? Send her Momo 100 Ghana cedis and send her a text to say, oh, babe, I haven't heard from you all day. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing good. I'm thinking about you. You know, she'll be like, what's happening? Okay, what's happening? You're there, no, and then you go like, oh, you know, how is she? You want to come pick her out for lunch. She'll be doing shakara, but be persistent. You know, Saturday morning, you wake up in the morning, you order wache in bed, give it to her. It's like, at some point in time, she'll wonder, I'm being mean to you, but all you're doing is showing me love. Why? Try and get her attention. Pick her up. If she finally agrees to say, okay, this guy, let me listen to him. Then you take her out, sit her down and have that conversation with her and ask her, where did I go wrong? You know, pour out your heart to her. Tell her that you didn't start off like this. Maybe you genuinely did something that you didn't know you did that hurt her, but you want to know. And if there's somebody else in the picture who is doing all of these things, crossing the boxes, making her feel like a queen, it's like you're back in the game, back in business with her. Try and get her ear and let her know that you're also like, there's no point being all macho about it. You're also a guy, you're also an emotional being, and you want this relationship to work. So she should really meet you halfway. If there's something you've done, you're sorry about it, but you would really appreciate it if she took her time. If she's unhappy about something, she should talk to you about it rather than insult you, because you're also human. And young women out there, I mean, men don't deserve to be treated like that. If you have a problem, trash it out. It's marriage. It's not, you know, it's not a, it's hard work. You work on it. People who are married for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, they work on it. Okay, and let her know that verbal abuse, you know, is not cool. If there's something you want this relationship to work, where is she? And if she comes to you and she says, oh, she's not interested, you're this, you're this, you're that, then at least you know, and you know in your heart of hearts that at least you gave it a try. And then you can chill.
All right, Drew, what do you think?
Okay. She's lost respect for him.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously. Nobody deserves to be disrespected. Especially, in fact, no matter what you've done, you don't deserve to be disrespected, especially if you're married to the person. The adult, mature thing to do is to speak about your problems. I was with Olivia until the point where she went down the whole be good to her, treat her nicely. He's rewarding bad behavior. Why reward bad behavior? She's the one in the wrong. You started keeping late nights. He asks you, you blast him. You're talking to him by heart.
In front of people.
In front of people. He brings your older sister. You bore. Bad behavior. She's very badly behaved. Do not reward her. Absolutely not. His question is, what should he do? Okay. You brought her older sister. Obviously, you're unfair her older sister enough, which is why. So I would say, find somebody that she respects, that she holds in high regard. Speak to the person. But before you do this, evidence is key. I say this because I've been in a situation where I would go to people and say, he's talking to me this way, da, 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 da. But on the outside, because he was such an amazing, lovely, calm person, nobody would believe me. Until one day I actually recorded one of our arguments.
Oh, Lord.
And I played it to his auntie. Queen Mother, she went on her knees and held my foot.
Wow.
Because she says, this is not the child I brought up. I didn't think these words can come out of his mouth, which is why I've never believed you each time you've come. Okay. So yes, maybe on the outside, she's this amazing person. You go and tell people, they'll be like, oh, but your wife, oh, you're probably exaggerating. Oh, you probably, and you see more often than not in this society, we blame the men. The men are almost always at fault. Which is why I don't agree, because the minute he starts to reward her bad behavior,
she'll take a piss.
She's already taking a piss. She already is taking a piss. Do you get what I mean? So I would say, 1, get evidence of this bad behavior. 2, find someone that she holds in high regard. Speak to the person. Have the person speak to her. If you guys had a counselor before, maybe it's time to go to him. I know that a lot of people, I don't know how religious they are, but a lot of people respect their pastors and religious people. If that's worth a try, maybe that's what he should do. But madam, behave yourself.
No, I like the way you ended. You see, Claudia and I are laughing. Claudia, talk to me.
Dre has said it all, basically all that I wanted to say, so I wouldn't want to rehash. But I think fundamentally we need to call it what it is. It's domestic abuse.
It is.
And the first rule of domestic abuse, you don't coddle an abuser. You don't reason with an abuser. You don't try to rationalize abuse. You call it what it is. So like Drea said, don't try to reward the bad behavior by being the good guy. It's clear something is irritating her. It's clear she doesn't want to talk about it. She's taking the disrespectful route, and nothing, and I repeat, nothing in a relationship, even between enemies, justifies abuse. So it's domestic abuse, and I would approach it as such in a very objective way and call it as it is. It's verbal, it's not physical, but it hurts. It hurts your emotion. It starts to hurt your self-esteem, and it gets deeper. And I don't see how he's going to actually cook a meal for her and be nice to her when she's been on the assault side. So I wouldn't even advise going to counseling together. So first of all, she didn't like you reporting her to her sister. So why don't you then talk to a third party about what is going on in the marriage? And also evidence. I read authoritatively somewhere that when some of these things are happening, sometimes you have to bring someone in the home to witness it firsthand. And also get evidence when you are reporting it to a third party. And again, after that, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be in this relationship or not? And for me, I doubt I would want to be there. But at some point, you'd have to issue an ultimatum. If this doesn't stop, I'm going. And see if that will even change anything. The thought of you leaving her, sometimes she feels, okay, I'm doing something bad, but maybe if I go on the offensive, it will scare him and he'll be quiet and I can get to do the bad things and still be with him. So maybe the threat of leaving might actually cause her to change. So you've talked to her, maybe you've tried counseling, it's not working, she doesn't want to talk to anybody, she's still being on her bad behavior. Find your way out because it's abuse. And most of the time, abusive behavior is deep and doesn't go away after one session of counseling or 2 sessions of counseling. It's going to take time. So 2 things, whether you are ready to wait for her to change and do the work with an expert, if she doesn't want family or friends, but that is incumbent on her agreeing to even work on it or to talk to someone. So you have to go through the steps and see what works for you. But for me, it's domestic abuse. Treat it as such. Talk to a third party, get an expert to talk to her. If she doesn't want to work on it, away bus.
I have questions because they're saying they've been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
And the abuse only started 3 months ago.
Exactly.
What?
Yep.
Something must have triggered
That's what I'm
it.
saying, Sam.
What changed?
Something changed. And she doesn't want to talk about it. She's very upset about it. So that's why I think that little tiny steps, right? Women get all defensive and very upset that because you can't physically fight, your immediate reaction is to verbally abuse, right? And she knows he won't hit her, so she's fighting by verbally abusing, and we don't know what brought up all of this to start with, because it's like everything. It's not like she's a chronic abuser, because this just came up and it's been 3 months. So the question is, what made it come up?
Okay.
You know, so having said that, I'm not condoning abuse, so I'm just trying to find ways to get her to talk about it. And she got upset when he went to tell her sister about it. She got upset when he went to tell her sister about it. It means that she doesn't want people knowing about it. She's almost like indirectly telling him that, work on your stuff. There's probably something about you that we need to talk about, but I'm so mad, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm just trying to use the love approach. Okay, maybe it wouldn't work. Maybe yes, kind of, because what you also don't want to do is to make it easy for her to go out there. It's like, don't give her a reason to say, I got mad at you and we are fighting. Like, make an effort to make it work. If you do all that and it doesn't work, then
please, my hand is up.
I don't know. I'm still not quick to say, oh, divorce.
Please,
or like,
no, okay, so okay.
Maybe I'm not
Okay,
you see what
so
I mean?
no, I'm not quick to say divorce either. But you see, you know how I ended, I said, Madam, behave yourself. these are the people who give women a bad name.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Women are known to not be able to, and a woman will go into a mood. No, not all women will go into a mood. It is bad behavior. If he has done something to upset you, open your mouth.
Communicate.
Communicate. You loved him enough to marry him 5 years ago. If indeed he did something 3 months ago, you've been together for 5 years. Oya kakaya and kawachiwari.
Long time.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So if he's done something to you, please open your mouth and speak. But this cold shoulder, I want to. In fact, you're not even doing cold shoulder. You're actually.
Yeah.
Are you alright?
That's not right.
Are you alright? If he was your brother, Charlie, no. Let's not condone bad behavior. No.
Yeah.
No. It is abuse. She needs to stop.
All right, Claudia.
That's it.
How does he get her to stop though?
Like I said, to get her to communicate, she doesn't like talking to family or friends. It's clear. That's why she got upset that she talked to her sister. That's what I'm saying. They should bring a third person that she respects and is ready to talk to. So she's established she doesn't want to talk to the man. She's established she doesn't want to talk to family. So now it's only a third person that can resort. And what if she doesn't even want to talk to the third party? What do you do to this woman? You can't live your life trying to change bad behavior. And it's 3 months. You've been going through this for 3 months.
Mental health, mental health, people are dying young for things. Charlie.
I don't know how you ladies feel about mental abuse, but it's very
it's sad. It's crazy.
Mental abuse is actually more painful than physical because you see the thing with physical is the pain goes away, but words play back in your mind forever and a half. Look, I can remember things that people said to me 10, 15, 20 years ago, good and bad. Do you understand what I mean? So why are you degrading and demeaning your husband? Like, Charlie,
totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. Yeah, so my guy, I mean, we do wish you the best of luck with that. Let me read a couple of messages. Dufie says, please do a self-assessment. You might have wronged her in some way or the other, or it could be that you're not performing as well as you used to. Address the issue by working on where you fall short. May the Lord be with you. Ifwa says, your wife has found herself a sex machine, so she thinks you are now useless. Start your investigations now. Kofi says, this is simple. If she doesn't respect you as a partner, please leave. Your mental health is very important, and no one deserves a disrespectful partner. You can't fix this. She has lost respect for you, and I don't think she'll ever respect you again. For your own sanity, move on and leave her to her demons. Abdul says, when you close from work, drive to a workplace and wait for her to finish up her day's work so that you both can cruise home. Try and be closer to her. If she's cheating on you, you'll unmask the truth. Fighting and arguing with her without any scintilla, is that how it's pronounced? I've never heard that word. Scintilla of evidence would be lost. Will be a lost battle.
Never heard it.
Yeah, English lesson. Choose wisely. Lose the battle, not the war. Look at the bigger picture. Lauren says, she's having an affair. The moment a woman can disrespect you as her husband in a manner described as if you were her houseboy, then you're in for trouble. I would suggest you take the issue to her parents for redress. Don't allow her to demean you. Neve says, I wouldn't be here and act like I know exactly what you're going through or why your wife is keeping late. I just don't even care about her. All I'm concerned about is your mental health and your peace of mind. Personally, I don't know why you're still glued in there. Take a break from this chaos. It's for your own good. And finally, Francis says, please, the story is incomplete. Let us know what you did to trigger this attitude of your wife. There's a cost to everything because there's no smoke without fire. We'll go for a break. When we come back, more messages. And you're welcome back to Sister on City TV and City FM. Our WhatsApp number is 054-998-6996. Prefix it with the country code if you're watching from outside or listening maybe from outside Ghana. +233 would be that code. We'll go into our next message. It says, hi sisters, I need your opinion on this. I suspect my wife is cheating on me with her ex. They work in the same company and her call logs show that they communicate every day. I chanced upon a message from a guy that said that he had left his envelope in her car. My wife replied that she had seen it and will give it to him the next day. My question is, how did his envelope end up in her locked car? Could it be that they went hanging out and he supposedly left it in the car?
Lord.
Am I overthinking it?
Yes, yes. Yes, you are overthinking it. Yes. Yes. Yes, they work together. It's an envelope. It could be a work envelope. How did they get in her car? What does it matter? Look, stop. You know,
No, he suspects his wife is cheating.
Yes,
you
I
see
get
what you
that.
see a
I
worm,
get
you think
that.
it's a snake.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I used to have a partner who used to say, why are you poking a sleeping bear? All of these things that you have said, they work together. For all you know, they indeed do have to communicate every day. Even if they are just friends. Until you have caught her actually cheating, please enjoy your marriage, okay? Envelope. Did they go and hang out? Envelope.
Common envelope.
How did the envelope end up in a locker?
How did it end up in a locker? Maybe they went for, I can give you, maybe they went for a meeting together. He could have left it there. Maybe they went for office lunch. He could have left it there. Like, I mean, there's so many ways. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Marriage is such a big thing. There's so many other problems. Forget marriage, life. There's so many problems in life. I don't think we should look for problems where there isn't any. This is just suspicion. And I know it's because he's her ex. So he's worrying about the whole lie momo move. Okay.
That's a general concern.
Okay, uncle.
It's legit.
Uncle, ask her. You see.
Ask her what?
Ask her if she cheating with her ex. You see. She'll show you something.
What will she show you?
I'm like, don't ask her. Please, I don't think she's cheating. I honestly, look, I was messing with you. Look, in all honesty, I don't think she's cheating. I think he's poking a sleeping bear. It's an envelope. Let it go. Why what?
Okay, so I'm sure she interacts with many other people in her office.
Thank you.
My question is, why is this guy a problem?
you.
Okay,
It's because he's her ex.
Just
good,
because
and
it's
it's
you.
and it's a genuine
because it's
concern.
Exactly.
Actually, no, it's not.
It is.
Okay, let me tell you why I
agree.
don't think it is.
Every day, when you
Yeah.
when you're in the office, you don't call people.
Thank
You don't
you.
have intercom in your office.
Wait.
Every day, 10 p.m. call.
She didn't say 10 p.m. Yeah, adding 10 p.m. Okay. You're adding
you
the 10
never
p.m.
know. You never know.
Wait. She was with him before they broke up and she married you.
That doesn't mean she's over him.
Thank you.
Let me just say.
True.
Okay.
Okay, then he should ask her. Or he should do his investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because, you know, it could be...
With the problems in this life, you want to make envelope.
Share. What's that?
Okay.
Be there.
Carry on.
I honestly think that you have every right to be concerned. It could be something or it could be nothing. And this whole lie momo thing, you can't easily sweep it down the carpet. Like, I'm literally putting myself in his shoes, whereby maybe Stefan's ex, you know, all of a sudden
Works in his office.
Text messages going back and forth,
in cars.
and thank you.
Doing
And
what?
you know that you just don't sit in cars. Envelopes don't just end up in cars.
Wow.
You know, all sorts of things happen in cars.
Yes.
And this is somebody that he spends the longest time of his day with. Do you see what I mean? Like, work is such that you work with colleagues, you talk to them even more than you do with your spouses, right? Yes.
Are you not saying the same thing I was saying? That's why they are talking to each other. They are
Yeah,
colleagues.
but why
That's
the
what I'm
plenty phone
saying.
calls?
That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying that. Depending, and it would be great to have known how they broke up. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, very important.
Sometimes if they broke up on a very bad note, it's like, Charlie, I don't want to see him, don't text me, don't everything is very professional. But if they broke up on a, maybe we're doing lovey-dovey and maybe he traveled and then we couldn't see each other, but we didn't really break up, and then I had to get married because you came, and then, you know, like, he's human. And we should just accept that he's human and he has every right to feel the way he's feeling. My thing is, to be honest, have that conversation with her. Because whatever you do, if right now you go and complain, why are you talking to your ex? You should leave the work because you're spending too much time with her. She could leave the job and still be communicating with her ex. She could be communicating with him and deleting every single message. You wouldn't know. Like, if there's something happening, There's something happening. So to take your mind, give yourself some peace of mind. I feel like it's about time that in relationships, if you're uncomfortable about something, tell them, babe, I love you to bits. I want this marriage to work. Something makes me uncomfortable, and this is what makes me uncomfortable. 3 days ago, I saw you communicate with this guy. It makes me feel genuinely uncomfortable. I'm having trust issues. It's not like I don't trust you. I trust you. But right now, when you're at work, all sorts of things are going on in my mind. Like,
but then it means you don't trust me.
Yeah, that's why. No.
So if you say to me that I trust you, that's mistrust.
Hold on.
Yeah. You don't. If you trusted me, you wouldn't have these thoughts.
That's not the issue. The issue is you're pouring out yourself to her to let her know that this is how you're feeling.
Okay.
Right? So once you do that, hear what she has to say, and then you decide, because however you want to look at it, she's not leaving this job because of her ex. So the thing is, if you're in a relationship and you're in a relationship with somebody that you love and the person is uncomfortable about something, what do? Because you love them, you stop it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that I agree.
But until that dialogue has happened, don't expect anything to happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
High five.
Correct. For 3 points. Claudia, talk to me.
This is easy but also complicated. So where do we draw the line between a caring spouse, an overprotective spouse,
and an insecure
spouse?
Thank you.
And again, how do we know that he's not projecting his biases and insecurities in this conversation? So she's probably talking to 10 guys, but this one jumped out because she's an ex. He's an ex. And when you work in the same office, let's not tell ourselves that communication is limited to official sources. Sometimes, even in the office, I'm WhatsApping with a colleague because he's probably walking outside, remembered something, and has to text back to me. There's the office line. There's my office mobile phone, but he uses WhatsApp. Sometimes it is what gets you the quickest response quickly. So it's about, and one thing that has worked for me is in relationships when I'm being insecure, I like to write things down. What exactly about this situation is making me think that this guy is doing something wrong or cheating on me? And then out of the list that I make, I try to mark out the red flags, which I think applies to me and arising out of my insecurities, and the ones that I really can't seem to rationalize or justify on the person's behalf. And then I try to talk to other people who are not my friends or family, like third persons. And sometimes I even talk to colleagues who are not privy to my love life or my personal life, to kind of, sometimes you have to echo it out and see what another person thinks. Are you being reasonable or unreasonable? Then at that point, if you're still not getting the answers, then you have the conversation. And even in having the conversation, it's not an accusation and it's not an interrogation. It's more like, okay, I've realized you're really talking to this guy a lot. What have you guys been talking about? I know you work together. I know you can't resist discussing work stuff. And this is a conversation without assumptions. Just trying to find out what is out there, because at the back of our minds, we are assuming that we trust each other. And so in all these conversations, it shouldn't come out like you don't trust your partner, you are interrogating them, you are doubting them, because in as much as they are married to you, they are entitled to friendships, they are entitled to other support groups. It can't just be the two of you. So in seeking out your interest and in trying to establish that, okay, this is a platonic relationship, it shouldn't come out as an interrogation. But for me, I feel this one is a bit biased because one is an ex. And there's always that, it's easy for people to assume that you are cheating with your ex. For goodness sake, you can meet a guy on the way to work and start cheating with him and your husband might not even suspect it. Why are we always so quick to jump to conclusions when people are communicating with their ex?
Because it's a low-hanging fruit.
So he needs to establish. Because you can cheat with anybody, but the moment it comes to an ex, we all assume is the easiest way to cheat. Or you know she's even cheating with someone in the office. I'm not saying she is, but then you won't even realize it because you are so fixated on this ex. So find out, is it your insecurities? Is it your bias? Talk to a third objective person, someone not related to the two of you. See what that third person thinks. And as we are reasoning about it now, it's clear that for me, it's more of an insecurity. But to be sure, have that conversation. See what she says. What has she got to say for herself? And I doubt that even if she's cheating, she's going to say, oh, babes, I'm cheating. But just give her that benefit of the doubt and have that conversation. And also, you also have to start talking to yourself and grooming yourself to accept that your wife is going to be friends with people.
Including her exes.
Where do you draw the line being overprotective, insecure, or being the big person in a relationship? So he really needs to deal with himself and before he deals with his wife. Because I see a lot of bias from his part. His wife might be doing it. She might not be doing it. But then you need a clear, rational process to go through and not just jump to conclusions because it's an ex. She can cheat with anybody. So don't be fixated on the ex part of the conversation.
Okay. I'll just add my voice. I mean, I think... So your partner largely also determines how you feel about third parties. And it could be in their interactions with them. Sometimes if you feel like they're too friendly or you're too available to them, it can raise red flags or eyebrows where your partner is concerned. There's that. And then there are those partners who don't need any trigger. They just don't want anyone talking to you. End of story. You get it. So I think we need to figure out, or I mean, you, the gentleman who sent this message to us, you know the kind of relationship you're in. You know your partner more than we do. Is it something she is doing that's making you feel like, okay, she's getting a bit too friendly with this ex who also happens to be a colleague? Or are you just sort of like in your own head making up stories because, say, you're lonely and you feel like she's out there having too much fun without you? I think once you're able to decipher what's going on there, that'll be the first step to solving the problem. But communication obviously is key, as all the sisters have said. And if it really is that big a deal, have a chat with her. And if she really wants the relationship, she will take steps to make you feel more secure. If she doesn't, then that's a whole different conversation. And you can begin to tackle it from that angle as well. My 2 cents. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, welcome back. Sister on City TV and City FM. Remember, your comments are always welcome to the show. 054-998-6996 is our WhatsApp number. You can send a quick email as well to jessica@cityfmonline.com. We'll move into our next message. Says, hi ladies, I'm confused about this situation. I'm currently checking out 2 different men who are asking for a relationship.
Hello, go you.
Hot sister.
All right, continues to say, I don't seem to like the second guy because he's giving me some bad vibes and my instincts keep telling me to drop him. I also feel I should maybe get to know him some more before I come to a final decision. It's been about 2 months now since I met him. On the other hand, I feel so comfortable with the first guy because he has the traits of my ideal man. We've been friends for about 2 years, and that could be why I'm feeling this way. I want to make a firm decision because I am ready to date, but I don't know who the better option will be. Kindly give advice. Who should I give a chance to? Claudia.
I mean, she asked the question and she answered it herself. Because it's clear to her one is good and one is bad. So I don't know what's confusing her. Is it that she has a vibe for the one that she thinks is not good enough and she doesn't really have a vibe for the one that is good enough? That's what is confusing me, because for me, she's stated in there that one is good. So what is really preventing her from making what seems to be like an easy choice? Perhaps that's the question she should be asking herself. Why is it that I have Mr. A, Mr. B? Clearly, I think Mr. A is bad. And clearly Mr. B is good, but I can't seem to decide. That is the question she should be asking herself. And she's the only one who can ascertain why, although she knows what is good and what is bad, she's still undecided and in the middle. Because for me, I would simply go with the second guy who I believe is good for me. unless the chemistry is not there and I'm trying to force it, or because I feel I have to make a choice. Because sometimes 2 people are before you, and in an alternative scenario, you wouldn't choose any of them, but you feel you have to settle. So then you are torn between A and B and trying to choose between A and B at all costs. Maybe the 2 of them are not even good for you, but then you feel, okay, I have to settle. I have to choose one. I have to be with someone. So she needs to have an honest conversation with herself. Why is this so-called easy decision so difficult for me to make? And therein will lie her answer.
All right, Livy, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Because you've been together with this guy you've been friends with this guy for 2 years, as opposed to 2 months, right, when, knowing this new guy. And clearly, there's something about this new guy that you like, but you also don't like, because you also stated that there's definitely for her to be confused. It means that he's got something that the 2-year-old
I
friendship.
think he's cuter, probably.
The new one.
Yeah, he's probably cuter, but he's a bad boy.
Yeah. That's what I think.
And,
only reason
she knows he's a bad boy,
yeah,
and she's like, oh, cotton candy, oh no,
you're not good for me.
You're not good for me. I know what's good for me, but yeah, because the way she explicitly says, I know he's bad. She said something about
he gives me bad
vibes. But if he gives you bad vibes, why are you considering marrying him?
Being with him,
dating him.
Dating him. It's like, okay, so, and then the question also is, 2 years of knowing this guy, friendship, apparently he's everything that you want in a man. And so what is that thing that he's not, that is making you want to consider the two? So, like, are you sure you want to be?
Is she sure she's ready?
She's ready.
Thank you.
I'm not
waiting.
sure.
I was
I'm not sure she's ready.
Because the end, she says, I'm ready, and
I'm ready to date now, but I don't
date now.
I don't think you're ready to date now.
I agree.
Honestly. Initially, I stopped listening at my instincts, because you see, our instincts are God whispering in our ears.
I agree.
Our instincts are God whispering in our ear. We should never, ever ignore them. Probe those instincts. So once your instincts are telling you not good for me, it is very, very 99.9% he is not good for you. So why are you even considering him? That's why I say you're not ready. Because you've had this friend for 2 years who is, you said he meets all the qualities.
Yeah,
the 2-year guy is
ideal
guy.
Ideal qualities, good friendship, blah, blah, blah. Why are you even entertaining someone for 2 months?
Yeah.
If indeed you were ready to date and you have met somebody who is your ideal man, you would date him.
Yeah.
So you're not ready to date. It's not about the men, it's about you.
Yeah.
You're not ready. So when you're ready, we can have another conversation. All I'll say though is, listen to your instincts. They are hardly ever wrong. Hardly.
Do you know this thing about sometimes women feeling that she's got, like right now, she's probably in the middle. She's like, oh, Charlie, I have 2 guys giving me all this attention. If I let go of all of them, what's going to happen? What if nobody ever comes? And should I just settle for this guy? But Charlie, at the end of the day, it's always going to be you, and you're always going to be in that relationship depending on, the choices that you make. So yeah, I don't think you're 110% sure about 2 years. Neither you're definitely not even minus 2% sure about this new guy. So Charlie,
I say you're not ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I be naughty here? Why can't she date both of them?
She can.
Exactly.
I mean, she can. Nothing stops it.
I mean,
like she's
they're
married to both of
dating.
them.
Yes, she wants to see, what's going on in every camp. That's
the only thing I will add. The only thing I will add is discuss it with both of them.
So they know that.
So they
being
know,
checked out.
because you see, the minute, I mean, if you discuss it with both of them and they agree, it's all well and good. If you don't, then that's where it becomes shady and two-timing, and then you can lose both of them. And then by the time you lose both of them, you've probably decided, I like guy A or guy B. Okay?
Yeah.
However, me saying discuss it with both of them can lead to you losing both of them. So please, be very sure of what you're doing.
It depends on how you define your dating.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And you have to be very clear about what dating means to you and how you intend, you know, getting to know these two guys. Because you don't want to be sleeping with both of them and now you be in the middle and your mind will be just like, psh, you don't know what to do.
Actually, there are people who are sleeping with both of them and all three of them know and they are quite okay. That one today. I mean, all I'm saying is...
Okay, that was not my point, but...
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but my thing is that it always helps you to be able to make an informed decision whereby, okay, both of them know that, oh, Kwame is here, Kweku is here, you're both friends. I just want to get to know both of you more to be able to make an informed decision. But having said that, you've had the opportunity to spend 2 years with, for example, Kwame. So why haven't you been able to make your informed decision? You know, and you know that with the 2 minutes you spent with Kojo, 2 months you spent with Kojo, you know he's not right for you. So Charlie, you now some way.
Honestly, confusion no day.
Confusion no day.
Confusion no day. You are not. You know you're not ready.
Complicate your life.
You know you're not ready. That's all.
Alrighty, we'll move on to our next message. It says, hi Jess. My girlfriend and I are preparing for marriage. My main issue now is she doesn't want to talk about managing the home financially. Anytime I bring it up, she brushes it aside. I want to know which other approach to use and how to manage our home financially after marriage because she's also working. Thank you. That's interesting.
I mean, if you guys are, don't mind it. Don't mind it. I'm sure she's coming at it from the whole bear management angle.
In this day,
in this 2021. You say you guys are getting ready to get married. I'm sure you guys are going through counseling. I would say speak to your counselor to bring up the subjects because indeed it's a subject that must be discussed. Marriages, too many people go into marriages not having the important conversations. How many children do we want to have? How are we managing the home? Where are we living? Are we living here? Like, you know, there are important conversations that need to be had. I'm actually very proud of him because this is one of the conversations that people don't bring up. And then you get married and then, you know, I think on this show, we've had a guy who wrote in and said the girl was not doing anything. Do you remember?
They complain all the time.
Exactly. And it's because you don't have these conversations. So insist. By fair or foul means, insist that you have this conversation because somebody would have, you see me, because I know that I'm bringing money to the table. In fact, I'll be very keen on having this conversation.
Yes, very important.
Because I don't want to come and sit there and then suddenly you realize that, oh, Charlie, I make more than you, so suddenly all the bills are mine. Do you get what I mean? This girl sounds like somebody who is coming to enjoy life.
Enjoy.
Say, don't fall. Insist and have that conversation.
I agree with Dria. I really... I've been a good girl today. But yeah, completely. I agree with Dria because money matters are very, very important in every relationship, especially marriage, because you don't want the situation whereby, I mean, I've heard stories whereby the guy kind of lost his job and like Charlie, things were tough and the woman was working and the woman needed, this guy tried, Charlie, where he even got the money from to even make sure that there was food on the table for the wife and the kids. This woman doesn't know, but she said her salary is guaranteed. Salt, common salt, it was left with common salt to put in the food. Can you imagine? The man came home to eat, they ate the food without salt because the woman
he didn't provide money to buy salt.
Like some women are just like so mean like that. I don't know where they get it from, and then they get it from.
We've been brought
That's
up.
how we've been socialized. That's how
we've been socialized. But Charlie, we need to move. You see, but that's the thing. You can tell that your husband is in a situation whereby Charlie, he doesn't have it. So at which point in time are we going to wake up and realize that it's the 21st century? Like, you know, like he doesn't have, so support him rather than have your dirty linen washed. And
we're not brought up like that.
Agreed. I don't disagree. But that's the thing about love, and that's the thing about marriage. When you get into marriage, I mean, stuff happens. You know, are you going to just, you know, put your man out there that he's irresponsible? No, you cover up. That's what love, that's what marriage is. You go through the ups and the downs together. Let the understanding be there. Let that love be there. It's not about, you know, that's not how we were raised to be and all of that. So seriously, My point is, have that conversation with her as soon as possible. If I were you, dear Charlie, we'll go out. Oh, babe, let's go out. Let's go out. And then you intentionally leave your wallet in the car. And I get there and then say, oh, I think I left my wallet in the house. And then you tell her, oh, babe, can you please pay for it? And then she'll sit down and look at you. And then you go like, you realize that she doesn't want to pay for it. It's like, oh, I think it's in the car. Immediately you ask her, so babe, like really, if my wallet wasn't in my car, what would you have done? That immediately opens up the conversation to have a chatty conversation about finance.
A big fight in public.
Thank you.
Oh, not in public, but maybe like on your way out, like in the car, like have a conversation.
You don't know
They
that.
are removing their money.
But immediately you find out that she doesn't want to help you like that. I don't think it's a relationship you should be in.
Yeah, I don't think she's marrying her.
I think one of the best things that ever happened to me and my husband was being in a situation whereby he paid my fees, I paid his fees. Everybody knows how much money we're bringing to the table. You were paying bills, so like we knew each other. We knew where we were going to. We knew like even today we had a plan. Because however you want to look at it, everybody is different. There's a spendthrift and there's somebody who's like, Charlie, we have to save every, but there has to be that understanding, and it's very important because it cuts across from school fees to mortgage to diapers, you name it. Yeah. So as soon as possible is best.
Claudia, you have the final word on this one.
For me, this comes back to the patriarchy, and when we talk about men roles and women roles, and the men get all emotional, you want to destroy our marriage. This is what we are trying to fix. That the responsibility is shared, that the right is shared. A woman can pay, a man can pay. So this one that he's bringing up, the conversation of her contributing financially, he should also be ready to share in the domestic work and childcare. So it goes both ways. As he's so eager and keen to get this woman to contribute financially, which I totally support, because he who pays the piper calls the tune. Money gives you power. And so if you're in a relationship where the finance is shared, it means power is shared. So I'm all for him bringing the conversation up. I'm all for him saying, I have noticed that whenever I bring up the issue of finance, you brush it aside. But I feel it's important that we get it right. Let's decide. How are we going to do it? Joint account, separate account, 60% of your income, 40% of my income. I'm going to pay for this, you're going to pay for that. And in return, the responsibilities expected of you as a woman, this is what I'm also going to do to help. So you are contributing 40% of your income for housework or for finances. I'm also going to participate in 40% of housework so that it's shared. Not that we have the woman contributing to finance and then the man comes back and still wants to be served and wants his clothes to be washed. It is going to be shared both ways. So it's not just about him seeking out his interest. I am telling him that you should have the conversation about the finances. They should draw a plan. They shouldn't even take a third party. At that level of the two of them, they should be able to agree on responsibilities and rights in the relationship. So as I am advising him to go in with the finance, he should add these two talking points. Society expects me to be the breadwinner. I believe we have to share responsibilities and rights. We are going to share in the finances in the same way. What society expects of you as a woman, I am going to help you to do it. That is when we'll get good balance. Because we have instances where women are supporting their husbands, but the men still don't see that they have to help out at home. I am believing he's different. I'm believing he's ready to help and support her at home and in childcare in what society has prescribed as womanly duties. I won't make any assumptions. I believe he's a good man, he's going to do it. But in having that conversation, he should remind the woman, we are both going to share our responsibilities. It's 50-50 and proportional. So you should have that conversation and let her know that, hey, I'm not assuming that you are brushing it aside, but I feel it's an important conversation that we have to have because the statistics show that finance is the second reason for divorce after infidelity.
Right.
So it's a conversation that they need to have. But I'm all for equality. If I'm helping you with the finance, you got to help me in the house.
And it's as simple as that. I agree completely, 100%. I have nothing more to add to that. Spot on. Ladies, it's been good. Claudia, Amazing, as always. Thank you to our sponsors, Vodafone, Together We Can, Lux for the soft fragrance skin, Kelk's toothpaste as well. It's
Over here.
Olivia's been fighting me for it, but yeah, Kel Kids, happy smiles. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back same time next week. Bye-bye for now.